Yes. Welcome to the latest edition of Overreaction Monday. Alongside Chris Brockman, I am Rich Eisen, fresh off a 12-hour flight.
Look who it is.
It is Overreaction Monday, as always, brought to you by our friends at Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Make sure that when you download the Game Time app and create an account, use our code Overreaction. You get $20 off your first purchase. Christopher Brockman.
Rich, great to see you, man.
Sir. How are you?
Look at you.
Fresh off the plane. I'm serious. Literally.
You're in your plane outfit.
My gear.
You look so comfortable.
I'm in my zip-up sweatsuit. And just in case, it got a little bit, stuffy on the plane.
What do we got?
Had the Rich Eisen Show shirt available.
Hasn't Susie told you not to do that?
On EisenShop.com. RichEisenShop.com.
You're just walking about the cabin with that thing on?
I honestly don't care.
Okay.
And this is the first time I've done our pod in a year plus with coffee.
Drinking coffee.
I'm drinking coffee.
By the way, it's like 2 p.m. You're just drinking coffee.
You know what time it is in my head right now?
No, I don't.
It's game time. No,
it's 10 at night. So why would you drink coffee at night?
Because I need to stay up. Let me tell you a quick story before we get started here.
By all means.
Okay, so the games are in Tottenham Stadium.
Yes.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Amazing stadium.
And it is great. And the booth that they provide us is a luxury suite that sits on the 50-yard line.
Okay.
So they forego actually having people
You're like an owner.
Right. So, and they set up the monitors on, the countertop that would be sitting in there for people who are probably, for years watching Harry Kane trying to,
That's right.
Do his thing. And so what that means is to the right and to the left is, other suites that are right to the left.
Okay. And those are full, I assume?
Full, completely full.
Right.
So as soon as I am done, I sign off Bears, Jaguars.
Yep.
And there's somebody who is leaning over the right side of the booth, leaning into ours from their suite.
Okay.
And he calls me over, and he's got a British accent, and he's wearing Bears gear, and he wants to take a picture.
Okay.
And has his wife, who's decked in Bears gear as well.
There were so many people, not to interrupt you, dressed like Ditka yesterday.
Oh, I know.
It was incredible.
I know. It was great. The scene was incredible.
Yeah.
But the first thing he says to me, he says, "I love Overreaction Monday."
My man.
And I'm like, I'll give you a shout out.
International shout out. You remember
from back in the day, we used to have international shout outs on our podcast.
Shout outs.
But it's what he said. Love Overreaction Monday.
All right, this is for you, Bears fan.
There we go. British Bears fan.
I love it.
This one is for you. Hit it.
That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
All right, the internationally endearing Chris Brockman.
I love it.
You have the floor.
Internationally known, worldwide respected,
renowned.
We'll get to an international take in a minute, Rich. But I mean, we got to start in Dallas, man.
Yeah, no.
The Lions are the best team in the NFL.
I'm still going Chiefs. And again, two-time defending champs. They looked against the Saints as good as they've looked all year.
That was their best game of the year, I think.
It was.
Yeah, I think
it
so.
was. Okay, so no Rasheed Rice. Here comes Juju Smith-Schuster, 100 yards. No Isaiah Pacheco. It's not working with Samaje Perine. It's not working with.
Yep. Look who's back.
Carson Steele. Look who's back. Kareem Hunt. He gets in the end zone.
Yep.
He runs for 100 yards. It's crazy. And Kelsey is suddenly flashing, right?
Yep. I like what I see in Detroit.
But what's not to like? I had the Chiefs versus the Lions in the Super Bowl.
And that's looking really prescient now.
And so I am heartbroken, crestfallen, gutted about Aiden Hutchinson. And I know, on Monday, Dan Campbell's like, he's out 4 to 6 months, never count him out,
If they make the Super Bowl, right? Maybe there's an outside chance.
4 months. Sure. Middle of November, middle of December, middle of January. You can push it. You can push it to get to the, early parts of February.
I get it.
I think he's holding out hope, but, that is their best defensive player. I mean, hands down.
There's some five defensive player in the league.
Correct. So, and they have some other terrific defensive players who are flashing. Brian Branch being one, certainly from this Sunday game. They are the class of the NFC, I would say, and we're even with the Vikings being 5-0, that's going to be a dynamite Week 7 game coming up. Is Vikings and Lions. Vikings coming off the bye, Lions coming off of a game in which they were kicking ass and taking names and saying, hey, Dallas, even though it was no fault of yours that we had a problem with the tackle-eligible play, we have 10 different tackle-eligible plays, including a hook and freaking ladder. You know what I mean? Like
I wanted that to work for a touchdown so badly.
Big man with hook and ladder.
Oh, God, that was amazing.
They went into this game with an agenda.
Bad intentions.
So I understand why you'd say the Lions are the best team in the NFL. You can make a great case for it. You've got a 2-time defending champ that has yet to lose and has lost tons of parts.
True.
And has only gotten better. So
gotten better. Push back a little bit.
No, they're definitely playing better football in the last couple weeks than they did in the first few weeks of the season. You know?
They beat the Ravens week 1. The Ravens look one of the top 5 teams in the league.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're progressing nicely, I guess.
Okay.
Give me the Lions.
All right. I'm with you. You can make that case. I'll just push back right now.
Let's go on the other side of that ball. We know that Jerry Jones isn't going to fire Mike McCarthy.
I don't think so.
However, Mike Zimmer will end up being the scapegoat for the Cowboy woes.
There's no Micah, no Tank right now. No Deron Bland. So I think Jerry's probably sitting back saying, let's see what Zim can do with those guys, even with the fact that Micah was there and Tank was there.
When the Saints put how much on him?
Well, I actually took the time to write it down.
Okay.
The Saints were leading in that game at halftime 27-6. Okay. The Lions were leading at halftime of that game this past week at 21-6. The Packers last year, it was 35 to, I believe, 16 at halftime of that game. And, you know, Dallas this year as well against the Ravens, it was 21-6 in that one. So they are, I believe it was 27-6 for the Lions, and it was 21-6 for the Ravens. I don't have the notes in front of me. I wrote it down on a notepad next to my, on the night table in my hotel room at like 1 a.m. last night.
You get the ideas.
I'm just saying that and this is a team that was so dynamite at home. They had one of the best home records
of the previous couple
years.
Yeah, I know.
And now they're getting boat raced by halftime.
Yeah, blasted at home.
And so, again, I know Jerry's going to be like, let's get out of the bye. Let's see if we can get Micah back. We'll see what happens with Tank. The problem is that they're against 2 of the better teams in the NFC coming up, San Francisco and Atlanta, when they come off of their byes. So I don't think they're going to fire Zimmer now.
But normally in a situation like this, you'd maybe change play callers or get rid of the OC or something. But that's your head coach, which you're not going to do. So somebody's got to lose a head here because they need a vibe change coming out of the bye week. Just something.
I don't think they're going to do that in November or December. It's still a little bit against type. They do love Zimmer. He's got a history there. I think Jerry's just going to, if I had to guess, Jerry's going to play this out, but I don't think that's an overreaction. I just think it's an overreaction right now if you're saying they're going to do it in the bye week.
Well, bye week's perfect time.
No.
I'm still just wondering if, what Woody Johnson did last week, firing Robert Saleh also against type might inspire, negatively.
Stay tuned
some
to
of
the
these
flagship
owners.
show on Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
After the Monday night game, we'll see if it actually affects anything with a change in head coach, a change in play caller offensively. We shall see. Because the Bills are coming in pretty damn hungry, too, on that Monday nighter.
I think both teams need a win pretty badly. We'll talk more about that to end the show.
Okay.
All right. Now, we've seen how dominant the NFC North has been. What is it, 20-something wins? They've
best
got,
team in best division in
got
football.
An undefeated team.
Can't
They got a
argue with
one-loss team, and then the Bears and Packers are 4-2.
Can't argue with it.
Now, I've seen other takes around, and it's, all 4 teams are going to make the playoffs.
I don't know about that.
The Vikings are going to end up being the odd man out of the NFC North playoff.
Come on, man. Now that's an overreaction. Do you not listen to what I say when I talk? Or you don't believe it? You don't believe it that I was around this team? I felt it. I saw it.
This team has started this way before and finished 8-8.
It's a different situation.
There is a history there. Also, I'm looking at the quarterbacks in this division. Who do I believe in the least?
What happened to Sam Darnold for you? What happened to MVP Sam? What? Because he
didn't love the way he played against the Jets.
The Jets,
and when
the Jets are doing that to everybody right now.
Are they? And then you look back early in the year. How many of these were kind of fluky? Big play, 80-yard touchdowns, big plays down the field. I'm looking at the way Caleb Williams has progressed in the last couple of weeks. I'm looking at Jordan Love.
You're so on Caleb Williams.
I'm right.
You love Caleb Williams.
About Caleb Williams.
You love Caleb Williams.
I'm looking at the way Jordan Love has played now that he looks fully healthy.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And I'm looking at Jared Goff, who might be the best quarterback in the NFC.
To say that the Vikings are
going
to go from
Vikings are going to be
to out. No, you're crazy.
It's a battle royal. All four aren't going to make it, Rich. All four aren't going to make it.
I understand
Somebody's got to be out. It's the hot take to say all four is going to make it. I'm gonna zag and say the Vikings are out.
And it's the hot take that the Chicago Bears against the Rams, who have, as you know, been banged up on defense.
Who have they beaten?
Yeah, Carolina and Jacksonville.
Okay.
Jacksonville, which has given up the most big plays of any team in football. Coming into the game, again, I'm armed with stats. Don't mess with me, man. I just did this. 26 different plays of 20 or more yards.
That's a lot.
Jacksonville had given up.
That bodes well for Drake May next week.
They gave up 3 more.
Okay.
To Chicago. Now, Chicago is feeling it.
Feeling it.
Caleb is feeling it.
Which offense do you like better, Bears or Vikings?
Vikings.
No, you don't.
Come on.
DeAndre Swift is playing better than any running back right now. Cole Kmet is balling like we thought he could.
Here comes TJ Hawkinson.
Look at those, who hasn't played in over a year.
I got it.
The 3 wide receivers. Keenan Allen, Rich, you said it yourself.
Chris.
Caleb Williams had an effort, made a dedicated decision
Caleb.
to
and I don't
get
blame you.
Keenan Allen the ball, got him 2 touchdowns.
Chris, Kevin O'Connell is arguably the best play caller in the National Football League.
I like Kevin O'Connell.
The Chicago Bears...
Okay.
This Stacey Dales got this, and it kind of created some, waves in Chicago last week. And obviously them winning 3 in a row and looking really good on Sunday kind of puts this to the wayside. Do you know that Shane Waldron, their offensive coordinator, did not script the first 15 plays until some of the players said, hey, it kind of would help if you had that. Like he had favorites. He had favorites.
That would explain the first couple weeks.
And they had a list of favorites of plays that Caleb was comfortable with and the coach was comfortable with and everyone was comfortable with, but they didn't script it. They didn't practice it. And they basically said, hey, it would be helpful if we did that.
That might explain the first couple weeks.
Okay. So there's one team that's just beginning to do that with their rookie quarterback who's beginning to feel his oats, and the other one has Justin freaking Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell.
Okay. I'm wondering if the Vikings have peaked a little too early. That's all.
Next.
Somebody's not going to make it.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
I don't believe it's a team that's currently coming off a bye week at 5-0.
Okay.
It's very hot.
It's very hot. Rich, you just saw this guy. You just saw this team. 4 touchdowns. Caleb Williams has more touchdowns in his rookie season already through 6 games than Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky had their whole entire rookie years.
Okay.
I know you saw that, Sam.
Where are you going with this?
Everyone's saying that Caleb shouldn't have gone first overall. You owe the man an apology, including you, Rich Eisen.
Why would I owe him an apology? I didn't say he shouldn't go first overall.
Then you have the take like, that was going to be the take that people were going to say. Right? They should have kept Fields. He shouldn't have gone first overall.
Right. Well, I said that as a prediction of, what the hot taking overreaction would be.
You put it out there.
No, we were talking about this. Kurt Warner and I were talking about this on the 90 gajillion hour drive to Tottenham Stadium.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, God. And how that if Jaden Daniels wasn't lighting it up the way that he had been lighting it up. And this was before, obviously, what happened with the Ravens when I thought Jaden Daniels...
He still played well.
He sure did.
He played well.
Right. That if it wasn't for Jaden Daniels, if it weren't for him, we'd be talking about how Caleb is the sliced bread and he is improving from week to week. And here's the thing about Caleb from the last 2 weeks, because obviously I just called his most recent game snap for snap. And then in advance of that, because I'm a lead pipe wielding professional, watched his previous game against Carolina snap for snap going in. And unlike the game against the Colts, where I believe he threw 90 times for 300 yards, right?
Yeah.
And then what he did against the Rams, and he started improving there a little bit too. Carolina and Jacksonville, those games, he looked in command. He looked like it was in a rhythm. He looked like he had full knowledge of, okay, I'm going to hit my back foot and boom, ball's going to go out. I know where people are. I'm seeing that.
Or we said
I saw that.
Weren't seeing that the first 2
weeks.
weeks.
I was telling you that story that I'd said on Friday when I zoomed into the flagship show is that he texted Rome Odunze from a film session of his own an apology of missing him on a touchdown after they checked into a play. And part of the reason why he apologized is he previously had told Rome Odunze in the week, we're going to check to this play. And when we do, I'm going to hit you for a touchdown. It's going to work.
Yeah.
And it was going to work had Caleb not misplayed the situation. And it shows you he's got, some maturity. He's got some accountability. And you could see on the sideline, he's feeling his oats. Like he is feeling it. And there's every reason for Bears fans to be excited. So, apologies he shouldn't have gone first overall.
Okay.
Hey, here's the thing is that he's perfect for what the Bears are doing right now and need. And Jaden Daniels is perfect for, what the Washington Commanders needed as well. And we're assuming they'd be just as good in the same, if you switch spots, unlike last year,
Right.
Sure. I mean, if people said he didn't deserve to be first overall, you could see his skill set.
First 4 or 5 weeks, it was like, oh, Jaden Daniels, this is why he should have went first overall.
Hey, and again, that stat, I'll just unload it all, that he's the first overall drafted quarterback of the common draft era. There's 28 of them, including him. He's the first one to have a winning record after 5 games, and now he's 4-2 after 6.
The craziest stat I've ever heard.
I had our researcher
said that, I was
run
like,
it down
what?
multiple times. Make sure.
Couldn't believe it. That's wild.
Name them all. Elway, Peyton Manning, Vinny Testaverde.
All the way
them
back. Yeah.
All the way back to Terry Bradshaw.
Crazy.
And the reason why, again, is, usually if you're picking first overall and you're picking a quarterback,
you're
just
not ready
had just a 1, 2, or 3 win season. The Bears clearly did not. Game time tickets. It's time for you to get this on a mobile device and start buying tickets to anything near you if you already have not. Listen, we've been talking about Game Time since we came on the air with this pod. And they've been partners of the Rich Eisen Show and all of what we do here. And we love it because we love using it ourselves. We use it for any event, sports, music, comedy, theater events. Game Time Picks is a new feature, and it's a curation that makes it easier to save on all of those events because it shows you only the incredible deals on great seats, filters out the fluff for you. And there's still that all-in pricing feature I've been telling you about and the views from your seat function. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our code OVERREACTION for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Visit GameTime.co for details. Again, create an account, redeem our code OVERREACTION for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Second half, Chris, what do you got?
Second half, Rich, and I'm not going to get up here and say, hey, look, I told you so. You know what I mean? I'm not
Don't
about
twist
that.
your arm.
I mean, I'm not going to do it. I love being right.
What did you see? Are you going with what you screen grabbed something this week? I saw.
Oh, that
on
was
the
about
old
Spencer
X-Feed.
Rattler when I said Rattler would start by Halloween. And look,
well, you said
look
that
who's
meaning
balling
that
out. Look
Derek
who's
Carr would
balling
be
out.
benched for ineffectiveness, and it was because he hurt his oblique. But go ahead. What else?
Carr might not get his job back. Not going to say I told you so about Drake Maye that he should have been starting all along. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say
he looked good.
Drake Maye is going to finish top 3 Rookie of the Year race.
Well, obviously,
despite having 5 games behind.
So you're saying he's going to have to beat out a position player?
Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, one of those type guys. It's going to be him, Caleb, Jaden, in some order.
Well, here's the thing: there's 5 of them, right? But we can find out the ranked choice to get this right.
I'm saying top 3.
All right, so that's an overreaction.
You liked what you saw yesterday, though.
I did like what I saw. I saw Pop Douglas actually catch a ball. Jalen Polk.
Everything that I said,
they were there.
Everything that I said that he can do and will do for this offense,
right?
He did. Made plays with his feet, almost 40 yards rushing. Pushed the ball downfield. Was there a better throw of the NFL Week 6 than his first touchdown to end the half? To
he's got some ability, man.
He's got ability. He showed flashes. He would be fine. Oh, you're going to put him out there against the Texans?
If Malik Neighbors doesn't get hurt, come on, man. Come on.
Well,
dude,
unfortunately, he's missed the last 2 games.
I understand that. Marvin got conked out of the game in Green Bay. Nobody's really flashing in that regard.
No, it appears to be a 2-horse race with Caleb Williams.
Bucky Irving's coming on strong.
Bucky Irving looked really nice. He's
got something going. But no, but I don't think he's going to finish top 3 ahead of a quarterback that functions, highly well.
I think you can see why he was taken ahead of.
Well, you know, Caleb and
Nix.
Jaden Daniels are going to be in the two of the top three.
I would imagine so.
Not imagine. It's going to happen.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Trick's third.
That's an overreaction. New England's next against who, man?
Oh, Jacksonville. My man's about to put up 500 yards against the Jaguars.
The Jaguars do get Tayshaun Gibson back on their back end, and they might get healthier on their back end. But
they just made a trade today. I don't know if you missed it. Traded one of their defensive linemen to Seattle for a second-round pick.
Okay.
But, I mean, Drake Maye might light up the Jags.
And then New England's got the Jets next, baby.
Titans. Rams, Dolphins coming up.
Chicago's going to eat him up, buddy.
Probably, but look at some of these other games.
Okay.
Indy,
I still
Arizona.
think it's an overreaction.
Drake May's going to put up some stats.
I don't understand. You just get caught up. You want the memo here. You want the memo.
I want him to play well.
Here's what you need to do. Let him play well. Let him play well, but not well enough.
Exactly.
This is perfect.
Just like Sunday.
What you just saw. Flashes, you get excited. Sully and Fitz can have a couple of pints.
Throwing them down.
Right, throwing them down, get all excited.
And we lose.
And you lose.
That's fine.
And then just keep rooting for Shador to ball out.
Yep.
Keep rooting for
Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, all these guys.
All of them. Let them all ball out. Let them all ball out. Then you drop down and take Travis Hunter 4th overall with extra picks in your back pocket.
Tebow music, Mike.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the plan
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
But he's going to ball out.
There it is.
I told everyone he'd be fine.
Travis Hunter in New England.
My man was fine.
That's the way. Dude, Travis Hunter in New England. I know. He gets you all excited. What else?
Is Drake Maye gonna get Doug Peterson fired?
I don't think so. Everything we were hearing is that if the seat gets hotter, they're not going to do anything in the middle of the season.
I really like Doug.
Me too.
That's a tough spot.
I saw him. He and that team was in such great spirits too when we saw them all. So, all right, what else?
Tough spot.
What else?
Another tough spot, Rich, Las Vegas. I don't know what's going on there, but I do think the Raiders made a big mistake not going after Jim Harbaugh this offseason.
Well,
I don't think Antonio Pierce is it.
No, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think that was an option. Don't you remember that?
I know, but it feels like to me Mark Davis got bullied by Max Crosby and some of these players into hiring Antonio Pierce because he dropped the ball with Rich Bisaccia a couple years before.
No, I know that, and it was working. It was working.
But what is going? This team just has the weirdest vibes. Quarterback change.
Here's what the Raiders made a mistake. If the Raiders made a mistake, is that they took no for an answer from a team above them to try and trade for one of these rookie quarterbacks. That they went into the season saying, "All right, we're gonna figure it out between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew," and then suddenly that thing becomes a carousel mid-October,
right?
And
bad news.
And Davante Adams wants no part of it. And everything that I hear is that the head coach takes that personally, and their gears are grinding on that front. And so, I mean, would Harbaugh have gone to Vegas? I don't know. I mean, you'd think he would. You think he would. You think he would, but Antonio Pierce finished up very strong. Strong to the point where he got the job, but too strong to the point where they were too far down for one of these rookie quarterbacks. And I bet you they didn't think in a million years 6 would go in the first 12. But I don't know who they could have jumped ahead of. I mean, the Chargers weren't going to oblige them at 5.
Right.
The Cardinals weren't going to oblige them at 4 with Marvin Harrison Jr. sitting there. You weren't going to oblige them at 3.
No.
Commanders were not going to oblige them, and nor the Chicago Bears. So,
maybe 6. Could they have given the Giants a big enough deal to make that move?
No chance. I mean, I guess so. But they're down at 13. They were too damn far down.
I'm sure heart of hearts they thought Penix would drop to them.
I think they didn't think Atlanta would go there at 7.
Yeah.
That's right. And then I would have called the Jets and jumped. I would have jumped him for J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Or Knicks. Unless they didn't like him. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the problem for them this year is they have a quarterback problem.
I guess I say this. I look at what Harbaugh has done. Huge win in Denver on Sunday. They look
They're just tough. They're tougher.
They're tough, and it's a culture change, and it's You say vibes, though, that's kind of the hot word of the season, but it's vibes, it's culture, it's a mentality. He's like, it's a Raider team that plays defense and runs the football. That's old school Raiders. And I think he would have been perfect there. I just feel like Mark Davis kind of let the players talk him into the move this offseason.
Yes, I will buy this, that their season would be better if Jim Harbaugh was their coach.
I even think Harbaugh could have navigated this weird QB carousel better.
I don't even know if he would have gone there because of,
Yeah, maybe he doesn't go there because of it, but if he did, I think he could have steered it.
Of course he's going to jump at that.
Yeah, but look what Herbert's doing now. He's game managing.
Justin Herbert almost had 300 yards passing against the Denver Broncos. Yep. Now, I understand that Surtain
went
out right away, and that changes their entire defensive structure. Sure. But I think he's going to get better and better. You see Quentin Johnston becoming a better wide receiver. Ladidi, our friend Ladidi McConkey.
Ladidi, yep.
So, what else?
Okay, I like the Chargers. Rich, huge battle in the DMV. 2 MVP.
That was so much fun.
Oh my God, what a great game! It kind of lived up to what we had hoped.
Yeah,
but
Derrick Henry stole the show, buddy.
God, man, that dude is amazing. However,
yes.
Number 8's amazing.
He is.
Lamar's going to win his 3rd MVP this year.
He's definitely in the running. But this is a similar situation to last year with Purdy and McCaffrey.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And even and Purdy, didn't get the votes because he was Mr. Irrelevant. I don't think Lamar will get the votes because he's already got 2.
Well, I mean, that didn't hurt Aaron Rodgers.
I understand.
Peyton Manning.
I understand.
Okay.
Back in the day, people might be less inclined. Certainly when there's somebody else splitting the votes.
Like
number 22.
Like the Jokic factor? We're just kind of sick of it?
Number 22 in your program.
Well, he's your offensive player of the year right now, right?
Downhill. How is he not?
He's a big favorite.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's as good as ever.
700 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns.
He's as good as ever.
Yeah, it does look that way.
Makes people look dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 30.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a running back.
I know.
Oh, we can't afford him.
I know. Can't afford him.
Can't afford him. $7 million a year.
Can't afford him.
$7 million a year. One of the greatest bargains
they didn't even
in
call.
the history of this game.
Some teams didn't even call.
So, yeah, I don't think that's an overreaction. He'll definitely be in the mix.
Quarterback award, MVP.
Oh, he's definitely in the
player
mix.
Of the year goes to the position.
He's almost like a 400 total yard machine at this point in time.
He's got second best odds. Mahomes still first.
Okay. Mahomes. Wow. I mean, Mahomes doesn't have the stats
doesn't
for
have
it.
literally any stats except 5-0. That's the stat that he has. I'm 5-0. Everyone else is not.
Oh, he's also Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
What else?
Helps.
Yeah.
Rich, last one.
Yes, sir.
Before we get to our future.
Okay.
We are recording this a few hours before Monday Night Football. Bills, Jets.
Yes.
Okay. But I feel like this take is going to live for a while. Tonight is the biggest game of Aaron Rodgers' career.
Get out of here. Dude, what's happened to you?
Have you
lost your mind?
No.
The Super Bowl wasn't his biggest game of his career.
No, not as big as this one.
None of the games in Green Bay.
Been to one.
None of the games in Green. None of the games in Green Bay.
The ones that he lost.
When he was going to be the MVP, he was a clear front runner, and then he wound up losing. Those games weren't big.
Right.
Him being 2-3 at age 40.
Nope.
For a team that he's hardly got any skin in the game with. That's bigger.
You want to know why this is bigger?
On a Monday night, week 6.
Let me explain to you. Monday night, week 6. He got his coach fired last week. Okay?
He did not get his coach fired.
He got his coach fired last week. And it's about legacy, Rich, legacy. This guy, Aaron Rodgers, thinks that he's on the same level as Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Going to a different team. Second late career act and winning championships.
Right.
He wants to be those guys.
I don't blame him.
If you lose this game tonight, it's basically over, and the whole experience and the experiment of going to New York will be labeled a failure on every show. Now, you got to win tonight. You got to show up and show out. Get Garrett Wilson the ball. Get Alan Lazard the ball. Get Conklin the ball. Get Breece Hall the ball. And blow out the Bills at home on Monday Night Football. You got to do it. Biggest game of his career.
Now, we rarely talk Monday Night Football on this pod because some people take this pod in on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And obviously,
totally get it.
This conversation will be interesting to listen back to it, watch it back, knowing the result. In terms of if the Jets lose, that their season is in jeopardy, I would agree with that. I'd agree with that because it would put them 2.5 games behind the Bills, having lost a division game at home to the team that is clearly the front runner to win the division. Certainly if they wind up 4-2 to end their 2-game losing streak and go to 4-2 and kind of go back home after this 3-game road trip, 1-2 on that trip, but feeling good about themselves.
Right.
As opposed to the Jets, despite their coach being fired, despite feeling like there's some dysfunction going on, Drew Rosenhaus just got hired by Hassan Reddick, which means he's going to come in and save the day. That guy's going to be. That guy, he might have been signed 5 minutes ago. Okay, so that's an indication that something's coming. Right. The Jets are so they can get Hassan Reddick and they can go into battle with their new head coach and their new play caller, and they can win this game and be in first place at 3-3 with already a tiebreak on the Bills, holding serve at home, having already done it against New England and having done it against Buffalo. So they could feel really good about themselves.
Really good.
So those are the two differences between winning and losing. It is huge. It's a massive delta. But to call this the biggest game of his career is insane. And I understand that you're saying that he can put himself on a different plateau in terms of, there's first ballot Hall of Fame, but then there's first ballot Hall of Fame plus.
Like Dion says.
There's plus. Okay,
this like Del Tufo's birthday party. There's different levels of VIP in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So
he wouldn't be let into the VIP of winning multiple Super Bowls.
In different spots.
Let alone multiple Super Bowls at different spots and all of that. So I understand that at age 40, this feels like his last chance saloon. I don't know about that. To call this the biggest game of his career is positively nuts. Okay.
I like it.
I know you do. That's why you bring it up. It's now time to finish up this pod with our future overreaction. What we'll be reacting to later on at this point next week. I whiffed on mine because I really rolled the dice and said that Devontae Adams would be traded in between our podcast
what
weeks.
What's going on with that?
Well, I think what it is that the Raiders aren't getting the compensation that they want, and they're like, well, we can just hold on to him. The trade deadline isn't for another few weeks, so he could just, we could just keep saying that he's still nursing that hammy and just sit back and make it seem like it's no big deal until the compensation gets acquired.
Yeah, they want a 2 and to pay none of his salary.
And then maybe get another player back.
And
I'm sure a bunch of people are like, get out of here with that.
Pound sand.
So I rolled the dice.
That was a really good take.
Whoever's going to get him is going to the Super Bowl.
Well, that still could happen. I mean,
understood.
If he gets traded this
week. So I whiffed on mine. I don't know what yours was.
I had the Bears were going to win the North, which they looked great. Okay. However, I was not expecting Dallas to absolutely roll over. I thought they might beat the Lions, and then that would be kind of a better take.
Sure. What's your take?
This week, I'm going the big matchup of Week 7, Niners-Chiefs.
Yes.
I like San Francisco to get revenge, and now we're saying the Niners are back as NFC contenders.
All right, put mine up.
Oh, is it the same?
We're going right on top of it. No, it's the exact opposite. The Niners are in trouble.
Nice. That's amazing.
You have one end, I got the other.
Oh, that's great.
Because I think the Chiefs are going to win, and people will be like, well, the Niners they can't string it together.
That's awesome.
They can't string it together. They can't beat the Chiefs.
Right.
The Chiefs are 6-0.
The Chiefs do have their number,
and the 49ers are 3-4.
Right.
They got Dallas coming into their house the following week on a Week 8 Sunday night before a bye week. But even if they lose this game to go to 3-4, no one's running away with the division number one.
Correct.
Okay, because Seattle's
in trouble.
Seattle's at Atlanta.
Seattle's in trouble.
Okay, so nobody's running away with the division.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that the leader of the division is San Francisco.
Still at 3-4.
Yeah. Okay, so no one's running away with the division, and they're going to get everybody back, and I think it's just still be hunky dory.
Yeah,
you think it's
Ricky Pearsall practicing this week.
You think it's the exact
I'm going to say
opposite?
I think they beat the Chiefs, and we're like, okay, are they on the same par as the Lions?
And so they beat the Chiefs. You wouldn't think everything's hunky dory? You think that would be an overreaction?
I do. I don't think they're on the same level as the Lions right now, but people might be saying so on next week.
I would, but if they dismantle the Chiefs,
dismantling now we're talking a little different conversation.
Okay. Good stuff, sir.
Good to see you, man.
The internationally renowned Chris Brockman.
People love overreactions.
They do, man. It's a special relationship between Overreaction Monday and the United Kingdom.
I love the international shout out. We used to do that every week, like a dozen years ago.
Got a lot of them. It's pretty cool, man.
Very fun.
For Chris Brockman, I am Rich Eisen. Rod Woodson is on The next edition of What the Football, they're back from their 1-week hiatus. Susie and Amy will What the Football on Tuesday. Swerve Strickland of AEW Wrestling will be the next guest in studio with O'Shea and TJ on No Contest Wrestling. And then, of course, look out for Jim Jackson's latest on the Jim Jackson Show as we're expanding our podcasts every single day, week to week, right here on the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. For Chris, I'm Rich, signing off. Overreaction Monday. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.